Coming up, Shohei Ohtani dazzles fans one final time this season, and the Rays are going to have to wait another day to clinch their playoff spot. This is Locked On Game to Game MLB.
Every game, every team, every angle. Locked On Game to Game, your team every day.
Welcome, and you're listening to Locked On Game to Game MLB, local experts taking you from game to game throughout Major League Baseball, their action last night. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On your first listen every weekday. The Cubs are seriously continuing to embrace that role of playing spoiler. They've swept their season series with the Phillies. Locked On Cubs has more on a positive ending to the year for Chicago.
Sweep. The Cubs sweep the season series against the Phillies and get their 70th win, which before the All-Star break didn't seem like something that was probably going to happen. Today was pretty fun because the lineup was back at full strength. Seiya Suzuki, Nico Horner, Wilson Contreras, Franmil Reyes, Patrick Wisdom, all in the lineup versus a lefty. This is kind of what you would call the A lineup. Javier Assad pitched well. The defense was really the difference in this game, I thought. Brandon Marsh lost the ball in the sun for Philadelphia, which led to the Cubs' second run on an Ian Happ single. A lot of doubles early, and the Cubs shut out the Phillies, who really need to win games to make the playoffs. So they just got swept at Wrigley Field. But things continue to look up for the Cubs. They're finishing a year strong and are going to go into the offseason feeling pretty good about this retooling season and where they're at. And they should.
The Guardians were feeling stingy last night as well, making the Rays locker room wait at least a little bit longer for their champagne showers and playoff celebrations after Cleveland rallied for a 2-1 win. Locked On Guardians has more on the comeback.
Are you like me? Did you think for half a second this was going to be 3 extra inning games in a row? Bases loaded, full count, up by 1, pop up. And a big part of that thanks to all the ground Andres Jimenez covers. If you had a non-Gold Glove shortstop playing second base, I don't know if he gets there. The range he has defensively was huge. Timely hitting by Oscar Gonzalez and Stephen Kwan allowed this team to come back late. Jeffrey Springs is a tough matchup, and he showed it in this game, but Cleveland wins. They keep the Rays from their clinching a playoff berth. They'll have to accomplish that in Houston now. For Cleveland, it's another win. It's another series, especially important because this Rays team could be the team they face in the first round of the postseason. It's an interesting Rays team that has so many Guardians. We're going to get into that on the show on Friday. They've somehow gotten the Jonathan Lucroy pieces back together to party in Tampa, but the partying tonight is in Cleveland where they win another one. Make sure to check out Locked On Guardians for all of your Guardians takes, information every single day.
Shohei Ohtani dialed in for one last magical performance. He took a no-hitter into the 8th against the Athletics and led the Angels to a win as well. Locked On Angels takes us through a memorable night for LA.
All right, so there's an artist named Macklemore who sings a song called The Good Old Days, and in the song he's talking about how he wished that he would have acknowledged that he was living in the good old days because they had passed him by. Well, I'm here to tell you, baseball fans, that we are living in the good old days. Hey, everybody, it's Mike Frisch, one half of Locked On Angels, and these are the good old days. These are the days that we're going to be talking about because Shohei Ohtani is phenomenal. He's remarkable. He's extraordinary, and he got his 15th win on Thursday night against the Oakland A's. The Angels won 4-2. Ohtani had a no-hitter into the 8th inning. Listen, there's a lot of discussion about who the MVP really is. And we high-five and celebrate Aaron Judge for tying the AL record in home runs in a single season. But the stats show that if he actually wants to break the home run record, he needs to hit 13 more. But Shohei Ohtani is doing something that nobody has ever done. He is setting the standard, and he is the standard. And Shohei Ohtani deserves the MVP. There could be a lot of discussion, a lot of argument, but when you're doing something that nobody has ever done, you deserve to have all of the recognition and all of the awards and all of the support. And so we in Anaheim are celebrating Shohei Ohtani. These are the good old days, and John and I get to talk about him every single day on Locked On Angels, and we want you to join us. You can visit us on YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up, we've got a walk-off win in Seattle, and the Dodgers keep on winning as well. This is Locked On Game to Game MLB. Today's edition of Locked On Game to Game is brought to you by Bet Online, the number one spot for all of your online sports gambling needs. The MLB playoffs are right around the corner. If you want to get in on the action on that, just head over to betonline.net. Bet Online, it's where the game starts. Welcome back to Locked On Game to Game MLB. Thank you for making Locked On your first listen every weekday. Make sure you subscribe to Locked On MLB on YouTube and wherever else you get your podcasts from. It was a walk-off for the Mariners who closed things out in the 11th inning against the Rangers. Locked On Rangers goes over the mind-numbing loss for Texas.
Of the season. So why wouldn't one of the games end in 11th innings in a one-run freaking loss? I'm Bryce Paddock, host of the Locked On Rangers podcast. A 10-9 loss for the Texas Rangers in this one, losing 2 out of 3 in the series to the Seattle Mariners. Just such a typical game. Not a great game from Jon Gray in his penultimate start on the season. Has a 3.93 ERA, but a multi-home run game from Marcus Semien, a home run from Sam Huff, a home run from Garcia, and from Nathaniel Lowe. A decent offensive game, a really solid game in the extra innings, but for every time that the Rangers took the lead, they would immediately give it up. In the 10th inning, they would score one run, and then give one up in the bottom of the inning, and then in the 11th inning, they would score one run and give up 2 in just a really exceptionally stupid fashion. Just incredibly stupid baseball. John King couldn't even record an out in that 11th inning, but you know what, who cares? Whatever. Jon Gray, 5 innings, 6 runs all earned, 1 walk, 3 home runs for him that were allowed. Just home run for you. You get a home run. You get a home run. You get a home run. Every pitcher in this game felt like Oprah because they were just giving out absolute gifts in this one. Just a mess of a game. The Rangers are no longer playing any more games against the stupid Seattle Mariners until 2023. Thank the good Lord they go on to 3 against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. For more, check out the Locked On Rangers podcast.
The Dodgers keep adding on to their franchise record. They recorded their 108th win of the season last night. Locked On Dodgers takes us through LA's latest victory.
You know, for all the talk about the Dodgers letting up after clinching or getting complacent or not playing well, they're now 10-5 since they clinched the National League West. What's up, everybody? This is Jeff from Locked On Dodgers. The Dodgers beat the Padres again, this time 5-2 to win the series. I believe it's their 9th straight series win against the Little Brothers from down south. I don't even know what to say anymore. It was Miguel Vargas as a last-minute addition to the lineup because of a personal issue with Trace Thompson. Vargas just drives in 3 runs, including the game-winning hit in the 6th inning. Andrew Heaney came in as a bulk guy after Brusdar Graterol was the opener. Heaney looked great. Faced Manny Machado twice, which I don't think was in the original plans. But yeah, Heaney looked really good. Struck out 6 in his 4 innings. The bullpen did their job. Caleb Ferguson struggled a little bit. That might be something to keep an eye on, but Chris Martin bailed him out. Alex Vesia then bailed Chris Martin out the next inning. David Price got the save. Craig Kimbrell had a 3 out, 3 up, 3 down, if not 1-2-3 inning in there. So all in all, really good game by the Dodgers. The only 2 runs the Padres scored were on what should have been an inning-ending grounder to Trey Turner in the first inning that got under his glove for a hit. So great pitching, enough offense, and the Dodgers continue to roll with their 108th win. Be sure to check out Locked On Dodgers.
Chicago White Sox have finally snapped their losing streak with a win against the Twins last night, but it's too little too late at this point. Locked On White Sox goes over a very disappointing close to the season.
The Chicago White Sox avoided the sweep and snapped an 8-game losing streak as they beat the Minnesota Twins 4-3 Thursday afternoon. Hey, I'm Nick Morawski from Locked On White Sox. Despite not hitting a single home run during the series and going 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position on Thursday, the White Sox did just enough to beat the Twins 4-3 on Thursday and avoid that sweep. White Sox are now in sole possession of second place in the AL Central as they head to San Diego for a 3-game series. Davis Martin on the mound for the White Sox on Friday night. For more, tune into Locked On White Sox.
Baltimore had an outside chance at the wild card when their series in Boston began, but they dropped 3 of 4 to the Red Sox, the last place Red Sox, I should mention, and their chances are pretty much gone. Locked on Orioles goes over the week finish for the O's.
This has been an unbelievable season for the Baltimore Orioles, but unfortunately here in September, it's ending with a whimper and not a bang for the O's. Connor Newcomb here, host of Locked On Orioles, as the O's fall 5-3 to the Boston Red Sox and drop 3 of 4 in Boston and lose the season series 10-9 to the Red Sox. Now, the Sox are almost definitely still going to finish in last place behind the Orioles, but tough to lose the season series to this team. JD Martinez, the big swing, a 2-run homer in the 8th inning was the difference. And the Orioles offense, again, 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position, just could not get it done in this game. And it's been a tough finish to the year now for the Orioles. They've lost 5 of 6 games. They're now 12-15 in September. They just got tired, but hopefully they can still finish with a winning record. But it was a loss Thursday, and I'll recap it coming up on Friday's episode of the Locked On Orioles podcast.
That's it for today on Locked On Game to Game MLB. Thank you for making Locked On your first listen every single weekday. Make sure you go and subscribe to Locked On MLB on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts, and check out your team's specific Locked On podcast as well. I'm Kainani Stevens. This has been Locked On Game to Game.